Hey everyone, sorry I couldn't be here today, but we are going to be working on an expository informational article this week. So we're going to use the same article all week long. So you're going to need to turn it back in. If you're in person, you're going to turn it back in at the end of every class period. And if you're at home, you're going to need to make sure that you keep it. It'll be in the Monday Canvas module, but just make sure that you keep a copy of it somewhere. All right, so the other thing you're going to have is this swag annotating expository text page. It is in your Canvas module as well. And then if you're in person, you have a paper copy. You are welcome to either do it, if you're in person, you can do it on paper. If you're at home, you can do it online. And if you absolutely 100% must do it online, if you're in person, you can. So you're going to need both of these things out, and I'm going to switch back and forth between them, okay? So the very first thing that we're going to do in swag is we're going to scan the text. This is an expository technique that you've talked about in your reading class before, maybe a little, maybe a lot, but we're going to go over it again just today. So you're going to scan the text and look at the title and images, and what do you think it'll be about? So as I'm looking, I look at the title, Everest, to climb or not to climb. So I know that there are lots of things that I can climb, like trees, mountains, stairs. If I'm just looking at to climb or not to climb, but my background knowledge says I know that there's such a thing called Mount Everest. And then when I look at the picture, I see oh yeah, this is definitely going to be about mountains, and maybe whether or not you should climb mountains. And then as I continue to look through, I see a graph. I know that necessity means needed, and cost is money. Okay, and I can probably decide oh, this is going to be a graph about how much it would cost to buy all of this gear. I know that that's a supply. So this is telling me how much it would cost to climb the mountain. Wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. This feels expensive already. That's what I can take away from that. Then we have this picture. It looks like someone who's climbing mountains. I can see the mountains right here. There's a pile of rocks. I'm a little bit curious, what is that? I also noticed a person, and that's a huge backpack. Huge. I guess it's a backpack. I don't know if it's a backpack, but they're carrying something really large. And I'm thinking if I had to carry that up a mountain, I'd be sunk. And then let's see. Okay, that's the last picture image. I can look at the titles. Top of the world. That means, is it high? Is it tall? Why climb? Why climb? Why not? Maybe. I think that might be some reasons. Maybe they're going to talk about reasons to climb here. Fearless leaders. So I think about this. I think if a fearless leader is a leader that has no fear, I'd be afraid to climb. And also if you need a leader, it might be kind of hard to climb without a guide, someone to lead the way. And then closing time. That's kind of a weird one. Does the mountain close? Are there only certain times of the year? Maybe that the mountain's open. That's a C-L-O-S-E. Yeah, so I'm kind of confused by this. I'm not sure what this means. I think of closing time as like when a store closes, when a restaurant closes. That doesn't seem like what it is. So right now, I want you to write right in here in this box what you think this whole passage is going to be about. All right, our next spot, we are going to look at any words. Are there any words that are bold, underlined, or stand out that you don't know? So just in looking at it, I'm not seeing any bolded or underlined words. But as I'm going, I might want to think about the words that I see. I might want to think about the words that are written and just sort of make some decisions about if there's a word I don't know, I'm going to put it down here, okay? And then we're going to analyze the text. As we read, we're going to fill in the following chart on the main ideas and supporting details. And I'm not going to read the whole passage for you, but I am going to start us off and read a little bit and kind of model maybe the first chunk or two, and then get you started on the controlling idea and the gist, or explain that. So let's get started. So the first part is top of the world. Climbers who have stood at the peak of Mount Everest report feeling on top of the world. This feeling is understandable. At 29,035 feet, Mount Everest is the world's highest mountain above sea level. So we were right, it's the highest mountain. Its record height makes it a tempting challenge for serious climbers. Okay, so right now I can already tell, this is not for me. I get winded going up the steps, so I'm probably not going to climb Mount Everest. The mountain was named after Welsh surveyor Colonel Sir George Everest, who took the first official measurements of the peak. The name Mount Everest is familiar to many, but indigenous people, I don't know that word, so I'm going to go write that word down. That word might be kind of difficult for us. Indigenous. People of the region know this mountain by different names. In Nepal, Everest is called Mother of the Universe. In the Tibet region of China, Everest is called the Goddess Mother of Mountains. Mount Everest is part of the Himalaya mountain range. This row of mountains sits between the border of Nepal and the Tibet region of China. Himalaya means house of snow. It's a fitting name for a range that includes 9 of the world's 10 highest peaks, the majority of which are constantly covered with snow. So if I were to think about this piece, this piece of text, it's titled Top of the World, but right here, it's talking about the height. Sorry, I missed an H. And then this one is the history of it, because it was who it's named after, what people call it. I still need to look up indigenous. And then this one is part, it describes where it is. So it's part of the Himalaya mountain range. 9 of the world's 10 highest peaks are in that range. So all of these mountains are really tall, the majority of which are constantly covered with snow. That's why they call it the House of Snow. Okay, so if I'm thinking about this first chunk of information, height, history, describing where it is, the geography, it's a good word for it, the geography. I might say that this is the background of Mount Everest. All those things together, giving me the stats, the history, where it is, I would probably file that under background. So that's what I'm going to go put on my swag part 1. I'm going to say the background of Mount Everest. And I always try to say, like for kids, main idea should be 5 words or less. Just do a little blurb. You don't have to write a whole sentence. Just tell me in 5 words or less what chunk 1 is about. And I know the supporting evidence for that is it gives me the height or the stats. It gives me the history. And it also gives me the geography or the description. All those put together make me think it's about the background. It's kind of like the history of it, right? Let me scroll it, zoom in just a little bit. So that's main idea 1. You're going to do that for chunks 2, 3, and 4. So each of these like big subtitled parts is a chunk. Now you might have to chunk within those chunks. So just like I did here, I kind of had to think about each paragraph and then come up with a main idea blurb. You're going to do that for the other 3 chunks. And then like, what is the controlling idea of this whole thing? Like, what is the main topic? And then this gist statement. We're going to write a gist statement. A gist is like a 1-sentence summary. And this might be kind of difficult at first, so if you on Monday can at least get down through these 4 chunks and the controlling idea, I can help you tackle that gist statement when we go over summary on Thursday. Okay? So if you have questions, write them down, and then when I return on Tuesday, I will make sure to answer them. Okay? You guys have a great day. Behave yourselves. Make sure that you finish all of this part down to here before you leave class on Monday. Bye, you guys.